Hi guys, it's Rowan Ziesing here, and we're going to do a quick tutorial on, well, not tutorial, lecture, what's the difference, on how to set up a turntable. Now, there's lots of different ways you can artistically embellish a turntable, so you could give it a little bass or anything like that, but we're just going to go through the basics. So I've created this is actually a couple of objects, but um, my wall piece and my floor piece, and I've grouped it, and I've centered the piece, like the group, so that's going to be where it's rotating around, because a turntable turns on a table. It comes from turntable comes from when people used to do sculptures in clay, like little mock-ups and maquettes and other things like that, and you'd actually sit it on a little turntable, so you could actually spin it around and look at it from all different angles very quickly. So that's what it is, and it's basically in 3D turned into a way of showing off your assets. So with your turntable, you might necessarily do a low poly asset, you might do a high poly asset, and render that off. Um, so at the moment, it looks like this. Boom, boom, boom. Nothing too spectacular. There's no lights apart from the default light in the scene, and I haven't put any. Unfortunately, I haven't had time to unwrap this completely and put textures on it. So we're not going to get to see really nice effects, which would come up if it had bump maps and other things like that on it, and a specular map, which would make this be shown off really lovely. So I might have to come back and redo this tutorial just to show things off in a little bit more detail. Um, but as it stands, we're going to do it this way, because the fundamentals won't change. So I've got my model that I want to turn into a turntable. The next thing I want to do is I actually want to add some lights to the scene and actually light it really well. So you will spend a bit of time doing this, so you might put in some directional lights. Let's make that bigger, because for some reason it comes in really small. Put in a directional light, maybe a couple of point lights around the place. Let's get one, especially if you had let's make it boom boom boom, let's make it yellow. Let's drop things off. Let's bring down the intensity quite a lot. We'll stick one might stick one in, might stick that in there inside, make sure it's not going through. It's in there. Control D, maybe make another one. And let's see how that looks straight away. So we're getting a little bit of lighting in the background there, little bit of shadows getting cast, shadows, shadow color. No decay. Let's make it have decay. I'm going to turn off my geometry just for now so I can quickly select stuff. Turn off decay, shadow color. Maybe up it just a little bit more because we do have decay now. And let's just do a quick render. That decay is really hitting it. Linear. Change it to yellow. Come on, yellow. Let's try it again. Looking just in here. Okay. Let's rock that down. Turn off decay. Let's see if that helps things. Do another render. Yep. Grab that. Let's change that to that. No decay. Quick render. Yeah, that's going to look nice. So, getting a nice little bit of backlight in there. Might grab some and you can do some nice things. So I'm going to very quickly just go assign I'm going to turn on my stuff, grab some faces, face, where are you? Face. Turn this on very quickly. You guys will know how to do this. Material attribute editor. It's not really helping you out all that much. Face. Bang, 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 bang. And I want face, bang, 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 and bang. And I'm going to quickly just assign new material. I'm going to create just a Lambert because I can. Lambert 2. Maybe up it a bit. Incandescence. Ambient color. Just give that a bit of a render. I do want a decay. Right. Can't seem to get it working the way I want, but that's alright. I'm going to grab an area light, pull it up, and I might actually make this a little bit blue just for the sake of it. Intensity, color, blue, pale it up, see how that looks. And just go render again. Control D, Control D, Control D, and I might actually drop off the intensity, give them a little bit of randomness. Control D, W, up. Let's pull them forward, pull you in, pull you in, pull you in, and let's just see how that looks. Let's just change them all to area lights. Let's change them to point lights. Hit render again. Awesome. And now maybe Control D. Let's get another light. Maybe coming in at a different angle, and we'll drop off the intensity. And maybe just for giggles, we'll try to get a bit of red going on in there. Yeah, awesome. So now we've got them. I want all these lights up here to actually stay underneath the group. So we'll just go into Outliner, Windows, Outliner. I don't know what that group is. Let's just delete it. So all of those lights, I'm just going to drag and put under that group. And these two directional lights, I don't want to do anything. So anyway, done a bit of that, got a render going, might change our, so now it's on to actually doing the turntable. So we don't want it just to go for 2 seconds. We might want it to go for not a minute, but let's go 5 seconds. So let's end up going 300 frames. And I'm going to set a key on the rotation of this group in the channel box, and we're just going to be rotating this group in the y-axis. And so I'm going to put key selected. Oh, for some 300. And at frame 24, I'm going to put another key. And at the moment, I'm only going to get it to rotate maybe 45 degrees in 1 second. And then I'm just going to key selected. So it's only going here. Now we'll go to the graph editor, modify, Windows, general editors, animation editors, graph editor, and we're going to just look at this curve. This curve here has a slow in and a slow out, and I don't want that. I want it to be straight. So it's going to be a steady rotation the whole way. The next thing I want to do is go edit, view, so from edit to view and then down to infinity, and I'm going to click that tick box, and now you can see this dotted line appearing. And what I can do with infinity, which is awesome, is we go to curves and then we go post infinity, cycle with offset, and then post infinity, so pre-infinity cycle with offset, post infinity cycle with offset. The pre doesn't really matter too much, but you can move those keys, and now it will just keep going and going and going forever. And if I think it's turning too fast or too slow, I can change it. So I can either change it by grabbing keys and moving it. So if I move it to frame 60, it's going to go 45 degrees really slowly. So if I just hit play on that, that's a slow turntable. Well, no. That's actually a reasonable speed. So let's do it to 24. So 60 is 45. To do a full rotation, let's just get out the calculator to do the maths. 45, there is 8. So times that by 8 equals, so 480 to get all the way around. So I'm going to change this to 479, and that will give us a good cycle. No, must have got that wrong. Because I want it to get to 72. So it's one frame off. So then we could just keep spinning it. Then in our render settings, in our common, IFF, yeah, IFF will do. You could do PNG if it's there. PNG, there we go. And then my software, we'd want to turn it to production quality, highest quality. You want to change your common. You want to change your output to 720. And then just see how long it takes to do one render of that. That doesn't take too long. The other thing we'll want to do is view, go to camera settings, image plane, no, camera attribute editor, and then in our, we'll also have a quick look at mental ray in a moment, but I want, view camera attribute editor, here we go. And you can go down to environment, and in the environment you can change the background color. So do it to a nice grey. And then we'll try that again, do a render, nice neutral color. And that works. It would be better if I had more colors on my actual thing to stand out, but that would work. And then probably should actually create an actual camera to work from, but view, safe gate, film gate, there we go. View, safe action, and make sure you're within that. So that would work, and then you set up a batch render. But before we do that, I'm just going to very quickly just see what it would look like in comparison in Mental Ray. And Mental Ray, what I would do, quality, you might want to play around with some of the settings, but create indirect lighting, like turn on global illumination. Let's give that a go. And this might make everything just a little bit too bright, but it just depends on your render settings. And all my stuff is very bright, so that gives us an okay view. That might work. But the other thing you might want to try doing is just doing physical sun and sky, and you just hit create on that, and that will create a new, where has it gone? There it is. A new directional light. This might make everything a little bit too bright because we've got so many lights in the scene. And go render. Yeah, and this is just going to make everything look white, unfortunately. So it'll look very clean. But once again, that would look really good if you did that with and had all the normal maps and bump maps and specularity maps and everything like that on there. Things could look very nice. But let's just turn that off and just go back to I didn't want to hit that. Press escape. Just go back and we'll just do Maya software. It's already been set up. Just do another quick test. Lots of different colors going on. That's alright, I don't care. Close that. This is here. Let's just give it some up and set that to a really low color. Let's leave it on white, but just set the intensity right down. And then batch render. Windows, edit mesh. No, rendering. Rendering, render. Oh, I didn't actually set up my batch render. That's silly. Okay, file name prefix under common, whether you use Mental Ray or not. What we want is instead of frame animation extension, so name extension single frame, we want to do name number extension or name underscore extension. Oh yeah, any of these will do. I would put the extension at the end rather than the number, but yeah, name underscore or just name extension. And 4 by default, we've got, that's going to take a while. We might actually up that to 1, and we will go, yep, all of that's done, and then we just go Windows, General Editor, Windows, Render, Batch Render, click on the button and hit Batch Render. And it may take a while. I'm going to pause this video and then we'll just come back and look maybe at 10 frames of animation as it spins. Okay guys, that's finished rendering 10 frames, so I'm going to very quickly, instead of opening up Premiere or anything like that, what I am going to do is just do an image plane, just because I'm lazy. So view, camera, attribute editor, camera settings, camera tools, image plane, there, import image plane. So now it will have rendered off into your project, so whatever you saved that under, so for me it's modeling, texturing, game engines, and then it would have defaulted to drop it in your images. And then we've got TurnTable. So I'm just going to open that up and turn on use image sequence. So it's saying it's going to use like 472 of them, but yeah. And for some reason I cannot see the image plane. Show image plane. Let's try it again. Create camera. Panels, perspective, camera 1. There's our image plane. Look at that, it was tiny. Let's move it off to the side. There's our image plane. So we've only got 10 frames, so you're hardly going to see it move. But it is. But yeah. So you take that into Premiere or another thing after pumping out 400 plus images, and then they'd all come up. So that's about it. So we can look at it in here. Pop, 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 pop. There we go. That's kind of working. Awesome. Anyway guys, that's it. I'm going to upload this video shortly. Bye.